العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد بالقاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله روحي وارواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء for the hastening of the return of our Savior. Can we please recite another salawat? Dear respected brothers and sisters, Sayyid, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor to join you all here today in the haram of Imam Husayn alayhi salam. They might look to me and say, Hajj Ibrahim, what do you mean we're in the haram of Abu Abdullah? I refer to something that Sheikh Bahjat would obviously quote about the Majlis of Abu Abdullah. He would say that any Majlis you are in is a branch that shoots off the trunk of the tree of the haram of Abu Abdullah in Karbala. So that means we are all currently Zuwar of Imam Husayn alayhi salam, and we should all feel, I guess, blessed and privileged to be honored to have this visitation of Imam Husayn alayhi salam. I don't want to take too much time. I'm just going to introduce a project I was working on for about 2 years called Tears from Heaven's Flowers. It's a book of poetry about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet, Ahlul Bayt, and in particular stories of Karbala, the personalities and the martyrs of Karbala, written in an English poetic form. I guess I'll have a very quick talk about maybe the literature of about Imam Husayn alayhi salam, and where this sort of sits in the grand scheme of things. So we know that the martyrdom of Imam Husayn alayhi salam, according to historians, happened in the year 61 after Hijrah. And currently we're in the year, who knows, 1441 after Hijrah. So that leaves about 1,380 years since the tragedy of Karbala. Since the tragedy, we have various scholars and a lot of attempts to try to preserve the memory of Imam Husayn alayhi salam, whether it be through an historic narrative form or through a poetic form. And that has obviously developed over the years. Whether it starts from Abu Mikhnaf's Maqtal, and then other tragedians that have written about Imam Husayn alayhi salam, like Al-Lahuf of Ibn Tawus. Then later on, people have used the movement of Imam Husayn alayhi salam as a means to sort of maybe achieve political gains or to unite people or to sort of inspire change amongst the communities. Tears from Heaven's Flowers, I guess the inspiration behind this book was to, I guess, shed a little bit of light and add to the existing literature that currently exists in English for those who have grown up in the Western countries. That's pretty much it. A little bit about the book. Yeah, it took 2 years. We got it published by the Islamic publishing house, which is in Canada. A friend there was very helpful in getting that organized. And alhamdulillah, we have distributors, one in the US, in Canada, and then around Australia, alhamdulillah. So inshallah, I'll be reciting a poem now, and then inshallah after the lecture, as far as I'm aware. And we'll bless this recitation with another salawat. So this poem is called the first Majlis for Abu Abdullah. Usually when a child is born, it's a joyous occasion, it's a happy occasion. But this was not the case with the birth of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. According to our hadith, and some of the historians would say that when Imam Husayn alayhi salam was born, the Holy Prophet held him in his arms, and after reciting the adhan and the iqamah in his ears, he would start to cry and weep. So this poem drew inspiration from that event, and inshallah we can see and identify what the first majlis or what happened during the first majlis of Imam Husayn alayhi salam with another one of your salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. We remember Husayn. We remember Husayn on the day he stood on the Karbala plain. On the earth, the color of the holy blood that was shed, the sands not yellow, but crimson red. Fatima walks. Fatima walks with Husayn in her womb, bathed in mercy and love, but Fatima couldn't help but hear crying from the heavens above. The moon refuses to set. The moon refuses to set to shelter Fatima and Husayn from the heat of the sun, while the sun lingers in the sky to provide light for Ali ibn Abi Talib's son. Yet on the day of his birth, The sun and the moon rose together to witness the birth of a man whose name is the means to divine forgiveness. Born into the world in the Prophet's arms, Husayn is safe and protected, but the Prophet's cheeks tasted his tears because he is affected by the great sacrifice in the years to come. Rasulullah turns his face, hiding his tears from Fatima, Husayn's beloved mom. Yet Fatima sees light reflect in the Prophet's beard, a light reflecting from his holy tears. Is my Husayn not healthy? Is there something wrong? She feared. The Prophet, holding Husayn close to his chest with a deep breath, he tells Fatima, Ali and Hassan what will happen to the blessed. He tells them how Husayn and his camp will be oppressed. He tells them of the companions and their bravery, not bending their knee, refusing slavery. He tells them how Habib will bring the companions to Zainab, swearing to her their loyalty. By God, companions never seen by any royalty. He tells Ali how the companions will fight to their last breath, some undressing their armor, yearning for martyrdom, wishing for death. And Rasulullah cries with tears that have never touched his eyes. He looks to Husayn, then to Fatima, but to Ali he cannot bear to see. He tells them of Ali al-Akbar and what will come to be. How once Akbar bids farewell and approaches the battlefield, Husayn will linger behind him, his tears and pain concealed. How Akbar says, I am Ali, the son of Husayn, the son of Ali. I raise my sword to defend the truth, to defend my father. The Prophet hesitates to look at Husayn and Ali, for he comes to know that a spear will hit Akbar's heart as the final blow. Ali looks towards his child and whispers under his breath, how could I pull out the spear tip? How could I see his heavenly blood drip? Rasulullah mentions Abbas, the moon of Banu Hashim, the son of Ali, whose face to the enemies would turn grim. The Prophet tells them how Abbas will protect Zainab just before his death. Fatima's heart mourns Abbas. Fatima's heart mourns Abbas, and that is why it is said that on the day when we rise from the dead, she will rise with the hands of Abu Fadl while her tears are being shed. Hassan whispers to Husayn. Hassan whispers to Husayn a saying that will always burn. There is no day like your day. To him we belong and to him we return. Rasulullah holds Husayn dearly. Looking into Husayn's eyes, he sees a sight. The grandchild of the Lady of Light, the suckling child of Husayn, Ali al-Azhar. Husayn begins to cry, for he knows that the Prophet can see an arrow piercing the softest skin under the sky. The Prophet tells them to have patience on that day, for Husayn will stand on the plains of Karbala, looking to his left, looking to his right, crying out to creation to come towards the truth, to come towards the light. Yet the response will be silent, so he steps towards a death that is violent. While the five of the cloak mourn, a shadow from their tears is born, an old lady, her hijab torn, whispering as she begins to mourn. Sayyidah Zainab speaking to Ali ibn Abi Talib. O Father, when I was young, I sought refuge in your arms from the evil of the world and all of its harms. O Father, for you the sun stood still, but for me the sun rose high as I saw blood rain from the sky. O O Father, my soul has had no rest. My tears were suppressed as I saw the horses break Husayn's chest. O Father, please hold me again, protect me, comfort me, and ease my pain. The Prophet's eyes are on his daughter, yet Fatima's eyes are on Husayn, and she whispers to him, O light of my eyes, O Husayn. The tears of the five sparked a flame that would grow when one hears Husayn's name, a flame in the hearts of the lovers of Husayn, a flame impossible to tame. Fatima had only one question. Fatima had only one question burning in her heart in deep suppression. Who will cry for my Husayn? Fatima had only one question burning in her heart in deep suppression. Who will cry for my Husayn? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So inshallah we will have copies available, and then if you are happy to, I'll be able to sign them as well and talk to you a little bit about the book and answer any questions you have. We always raise our hands to dua, inshallah, because it's these majalis and the link to Abu Abdullah alayhi salam that inshallah will grant us shafa on the day of judgment and have our du'as mustajab, inshallah. We ask Allah to bless us and to guide us and to allow us to continue to hold these majalis so that we can continue to be zawar of Abu Abdullah Husayn alayhi salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really help all the movements and all the literature and all the works and all the poets and those who give lectures, those who give water, those who give food for Abu Abdullah, for this beautiful culture to continue and to allow it to pass on to the future generations. And with that, آخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين, and we'll recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the souls of the deceased. Before that, as-salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.